5 things you have to know to survive the winters in Bend, Oregon, from a local who never lived in the snow before she moved here. And by the way, I'm Nora Spangler with Stellar Realty Northwest here in beautiful Bend, Oregon. If you want to know what it's like to eat, live, drink, sleep, and play in Central Oregon, not just Bend, but all the surrounding communities, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll get notified right away when I put out new video content. And if you're ready for a chat with me, go ahead and just click the link down below and schedule a phone call or shoot me an email or a text. All my contact is right down below in the description box of every video. So today I'm going to share with you 5 of the most important things that I have learned since moving to Bend in 2015. I had never lived anywhere with so much snow, below freezing temperatures. We actually hit, I think 1 or 2 degrees was the coldest day just a couple weeks ago. So I did not know how to deal with that kind of weather. The first thing I'm going to talk about is actually not really weather related, but it's gardening. And I just had someone reach out to me in the past week or so asking me, or actually telling me, that they were really interested in gardening when they moved to Bend. And I was thinking, oh boy, here we go. So if you're from California or another state with lots of warm weather and a long growing season, boy, you are in for a surprise. So if you're a gardener, here's my advice. So the first thing to know is that we have a really short growing season, just 80 to 100 days, starting the 10% chance that there will be a freeze overnight ends around early July. So you are not going to be planting things outside in the spring. You're going to have to wait pretty much maybe through June all the way to July, and then we're going to get the first frost toward the end of September or early October. So it's a really short growing season and you need to make some adjustments. Some of the things you can do is use the big hoops with plastic covering, and you can protect your plants early and late with that, or you might want to get a little heated garden shed. Those are super great, and that will get your plants started early, get them off to a good start. The second thing you have to know is you are going to have to think about where your driveway is when you purchase a home in Bend or anywhere in the Central Oregon area where we get a good amount of winter weather. I never had to do this before. I lived in Portland and Seattle, owned several different homes, and I never really thought, what direction did my driveway face? Let me tell you the story of my current home. I live in a house and the driveway is on a narrow alley access to my garage, and it faces north. So it gets the least amount of sunlight in the winter months, which means, yes, snow stays there and ice forms, and boy, did I have a hard time getting back into my garage just this past week because so much ice had built up. I just really couldn't even make it back in. Here's a picture. I had to employ the method of getting out my shovel and cracking up lots of the ice, and boy, I got a good arm and tricep workout from that. And then I sprinkled a little kitty litter on top of that, and I was able to get my car safely back in my garage. So if you're wondering what is it like to move to Bend, I do have a relocation guide to give you some information. Just click the link below and grab your free relocation guide, or just reach out to me. The third thing you must know is that you should think about where your closest grocery store is when you purchase your home in Bend. I really honestly didn't think about it when we bought our home, but boy, when we had this last snowstorm, I was stuck in our house for 3 days straight, didn't really want to risk the roads. They were pretty snowy and icy, and I didn't need to go anywhere. But what happened on day 3 was I ran out of half and half, the all-important ingredient to the best cup of espresso. And I needed half and half. So I did get in my car, and that's the previous point where I told you how my car got stuck in the driveway. That's when this happened. But I needed to go, so I drove to the closest grocery store, which is just 3 blocks from my house. And I was really glad that it was that close. I drove slowly and took my time, and it was really pretty easy other than getting back into my garage. So how do you get around safely to the grocery store if you need to, even if it's just a couple blocks away when there's snow and ice on the ground? Well, first thing is that if you have an all-wheel drive car, which hint is my next point, you need to have that with snow tires. And if you do, you will probably get anywhere you need to pretty safely. The other thing is if you feel like walking, if there's lots of snow on the ground, just put your snowshoes on and trek anywhere you need to go. That's a really fun thing to do. The other thing you can do is get, the brand name is called Yak Trax. And I think you can get those at Costco, but just any mini spike thing that you put on your shoe, a regular shoe or a snow boot, and those will get you around in the ice, which is what we had recently, which is not normally what we have. We normally just have snow, and I just put my snow boots on and go at it, and I don't have a problem. But this time we got some ice, so a pair of Yak Trax is a good thing to have if you just want to get out and get to the store, or just enjoy some exercise. The fourth thing you must know is about driving safely and the kind of car and tires you need here in Central Oregon. So what you do need is an all-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive vehicle that's in good condition. I personally drive a Toyota RAV4, which is great. It's a hybrid and it gets great gas mileage. I love it. And you will need to get some good snow tires, not all season tires. You're going to have to change your tires out twice a year, in the spring and before the first snow comes in the winter, which is my next point here. You want to make an appointment at one of the tire stores, and it costs about $80 for me to have mine done because they're not on a separate set of rims. So I just take the tires in, chuck them in the back of my car, and they just change those out for me and rebalance everything. And you want to do that before the first snow comes, otherwise you'll never get an appointment. So I highly recommend you doing it toward the end of October or first week in November is good. This year we didn't get snow until January, so that was kind of weird. We really didn't have any snow in November or December. If you're wondering what kind of tires, I love my Bridgestone Blizzaks. They are very good with cold temperatures, so they're very grippy. And they keep you connected to the road, and I really like the Blizzaks. The fifth thing you need to know is that you must clear the snow in front of your home on the sidewalk. Yes, it's a public sidewalk, but within 24 hours of the snow falling, you are required by the City of Bend to clear the sidewalk for whoever wants to use it. So I recommend getting out there and doing it right away after the snowfall, because if we get snow after snow after snow, it's really hard to remove. And I'm going to talk for a minute about a snow blower, because if you want to have one, it's a good thing. A couple of our neighbors have them, so they will go and they'll do the whole sidewalk for the whole neighborhood. We still have to do our driveway, but it's a really nice thing that your neighbors might do, or you could be that lovely neighbor who owns the snow blower and will just go up and down around your block and do a little snow blowing. A snow blower is not super expensive. You can find them anywhere from about $150 up to about $600. So you decide what size you need, but it really is a help when we get a lot of snow. This year, we haven't had that much snow, just a little bit in January, and we'll see how much more we get. Several people actually have reached out to me already this year in January, and we've connected, and they are on their journey to move to Bend. So if you think you might want to move here, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. No pressure. I'm not a high pressure salesperson. I just like to share information and help people who are ready to move, to make the move smoothly and as easily as possible. I try and relieve as much stress as I can, hook you up with all the best services and people, resources that you will need to make the move, and I hope to see you here in Bend.